Hello everyone, welcome back to Classic Automotive Services. So this week we're going to start with the new arrival that we mentioned. We've got this quite nice little Triumph Stag in. It's in for a full restoration, although as you look at it you wouldn't think it needs a full restoration, but looks can be very, very deceiving. The owner's had it a very long time now, and he bought it back in the 80s, and from what I can see of the car, it's a typical, how to put it, tart-up job back in the 80s. So it does need quite a lot of work. It's been painted in a fancy Rolls Royce colour, which is actually quite a nice colour. I imagine when it was first done, it looked absolutely amazing. It's also got the 3.5 litre Rover engine in it, which he only likes it, so that's what he's sticking with. There's nothing wrong with that engine, especially if you want a bit more power. So that engine responds well to modifications, which this one has already got. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So we'll have a quick look around the car and we'll show you what makes me think it's not so good. So we'll start off with the front inner arches. I don't know if you'll be able to see, but in here it's had patches put in here. It's not great in here, and it's all filler fiberglass. It's rotted, it's come away from the wheel arch itself, so that's really not what we need. So in here especially, it's really not good. It's hard to see on camera, but this isn't anywhere near right in here, so it's probably we're gonna have to have the front wings off of it. The driver's door, it's got a lot of filler in it. If you look at the edge of the door, you can see how thick it gets towards the bottom, and it's all swelling out. So it's probably had lower skin put on it badly at some point. So we've actually got a door skin for it already. If we go around the other side, the thing is, as you look at the car, it doesn't look that bad. It's been sat a long time, obviously. If we go around this side, I have suspicions that it's had arches put in it. Where is it? It's getting hard to pick up on camera, but we've got rust bubbles coming through here, right through here, which is very odd. The only reason I can think of why it'd have rust coming through there is if it's had an arch put in it. But again, arches are rotten and not actually attached to the outer wings anymore. I haven't actually looked at the passenger door to see if that's the same. So no, the passenger door is actually a lot better. If we look at this one, it's actually quite nice and thin still. It's starting to swell along the bottom. This along here, it doesn't feel quite right. It feels in and out like it's got a fair amount of filler in it. Again, the rear arch is actually out of shape through there. So I believe it's had work done there. It sounds very dull. It's tinny there, but up here it's not tinny at all. It's got its fair share of filler in it. So the boot lid is starting to get a little bit of corrosion through in the usual places, but I think the boot lid is actually savable, so it looks in fairly good condition. I think that's going to be just to clean it up and maybe some minor repairs on it. The battery has been relocated to the boot. As you can see, it's been sat a long time from the corrosion on the battery terminal. But it is what it is. We're going to have to strip it back completely, back to bare metal, and see what we end up with. So again, here, that doesn't look quite right. It's swelling out here. It's bubbling there. So I think that's got its fair share of filler in it as well. The interior is not too bad. It wants some seat covers, and the seat's doing, but it's got the tan interior, which is very nice on one of these with a walnut dashboard. So it's going to turn into a very, very nice car, but it's a case of completely stripping it and starting it again. So it has been lowered. It's about an inch lower than a standard one, and it's also got a nice little front spoiler on it, which quite suits the car. It's got a nice little chin spoiler under the front. So if you have a look, got that nice little tin spoiler on it. So we have a look under the bonnet. So it's got all this horrible underseal under the bonnet, which we'll get rid of all that. So it's all nicely painted as it should be. The bonnet has been cut here to accommodate the radiator because the radiator has been moved forward. So what I'll do is I'll make up a nice little infill for that to finish that off. Still running the power steering. Got a nice bracket for relocating the power steering. And we've got a 3.5 litre Rover engine in it with a Offenhauser manifold and a Holley 390 carburetor on it. So, and tubular exhaust manifolds. So it's going to perform fairly well. The original colour of the car is damson. The engine bay is the same colour as the outside of the car, but down here under this power steering pump I can see trace the original colour. So it was originally painted damson, which is a nice colour on the Stag. Whether he wants to keep it this colour or go back to original, I don't know yet. That's a decision that you can obviously make at a later date. So, but it's not too bad. I don't know what the seals are like yet. It's got seal covers on it. We'll find that out when we get the seal covers off and have a look. Hopefully they're not too bad. The rest of the car's not that bad, but it has. I think it's had its fair share of work done on it over the years. Again, you can see this arch it's not the right shape. It's quite thick with filler. So when we get back to bare metal, we'll know what we get. But I'm pretty much certain going to be in for front wings, front inner arches, door skins, door bottoms. That's going to be the starting point. And what else it needs, we'll find out when we strip it. So that's the Stag. We're looking forward to getting started. We'll be starting in the next couple of weeks. Now it's here. We've got to get rid of some of the other cars sorted first, which are very close to being finished now. We've got another Stag under the cover, which we're just finishing up some work on. And if you notice, the Bristol was moved. That's because it's outside, and we'll go have a look at that in a second. So we've got the TR8s still sat here. They're the next on the list once we get the Bristol and this Stag gone. So they'll be both done this week. So next week we'll be back on the shell, get the shell sorted out, ready for dipping. And then I can start on this one and initially start getting it stripped. But we're going to have a look at the Bristol. Got a little helper here today. Say hello. So the Bristol. So it's now all back up and running. It runs absolutely beautifully. So it's got a lot of power in it. Obviously, if you've been watching the videos, you'll know what's in it. The last thing we've got the brakes up and running now. It just needed a brake fluid change. The brake fluid was completely and utterly black and knackered. So we bled all the brakes off and they're working. We've just got to service the brakes, i.e. clean them and sort them out. And then give it a wash and a polish up and do a few touches on the paint, make it look as good as we possibly can. Because we're not going to go through the extent of doing major work to it to make it look brand new. We're just going to tidy up what's here. A few electrical jobs to do on it. We've got to change the headlight bulb and try and get the passenger window working because that's not working. But other than that, it's ready to go, pretty much ready to go back on the road. So we'll see if it will start. Hopefully it will. The battery's a bit low. Let's see if it will fire up. There we are. Let's have a look under the bonnet. She's up and running. I'll stand away so the microphone don't get too close to it. But so for anyone that hasn't been watching the previous videos, it had major engine failure. It put valves into pistons, bent the valves. It was, well, catastrophic engine failure. So we had to completely strip down the top end of the engine and rebuild it all. When we stripped it down, we then found out that it got Edelbrock Performer RPM heads on it, Edelbrock Performer RPM inlet manifold, and Elderbrock 4-barrel carburetor on it as well. So it's heavily upgraded. It's got MSD ignition system as well. So the only thing that we've added to it is the Elderbrock air filter. So yeah, it's all up and running. I have taken it up the road, and it does go extremely well. When we got it all apart, it has got a performance camshaft in it as well. I don't know the specs, as I didn't have the camshaft out, but it has got a aftermarket performance camshaft, and it's also got flat top pistons in it, so it's higher compression. But yeah, it's running absolutely beautifully. It's very responsive. So it runs extremely well. So that's the Bristol, and we'll get it all sorted out Monday and Tuesday. We've got to do an oil change on it. Now we've run it up, although the oil in it is very clean, but we're just going to do a change on it anyway. And then it's pretty much ready to go once we've washed it and polished it. So that's the Bristol. Let's close that back down. So let's knock her off. It drinks a lot of petrol. So it's a very, very nice car. So like I said in previous videos, I was never that keen on it when I was younger, because I know the car from years ago. But I do actually very much like it now. So it's grown on me a lot over the years. But it's a nice car. So I hope the owner's going to enjoy it for a little while, then I think he's planning on selling it. So also, if you notice, the purple Stag's gone. We've got that finished in a week. We'll put a little I've got a little video of it leaving. So we'll try and add that into the video of it driving off. The owner of that was very happy with it, so he's now out about putting some miles on it and enjoying it, doing a final shakedown run on it. So when he's done 500-600 miles on it, he's going to bring it back, and we're going to do a service, oil change, and just go over it, make sure everything's all as it should be, and anything that needs any adjustments, we'll get them sorted out. I think that is where we're up to this week. So yeah, we've obviously got the Stag, which we're going to get stripped in the next couple of weeks and find out what that's like. And next week, what we're going to have next week, I've also got Bristol to finish and the Stag under the cover to do a few jobs on and finish off. So to be honest, next week we're not going to have a great deal, but because obviously the owner with the Stag under the cover doesn't want it to be on film, so it's a shame, but we'll see how we get on. So please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.